So everyone is talking about Cracker Barrel and even President Donald Trump. Now, even if you don't like him, I think he gave some great business advice to Cracker Barrel. I think it was some advice that they desperately needed to hear. And I really think it's advice that many business leaders, managers, or owners need to hear. So, regardless if you like him, love him, or just don't like him at all, just set your opinions aside about Donald Trump, and I think you're going to see that he's right about this one. We're going to break down the advice that he gave to Cracker Barrel, and we're going to see what we can learn from it as leaders so we can lead our teams and we can omit this misstep in our leadership. So let's go. So I'm sure by now you are fully aware of what's happening with Cracker Barrel. It's everywhere, but I want to just quickly recap together to catch us up. See, Cracker Barrel spent a jaw-dropping, get this, $700 million on this disastrous rebrand that everybody is talking about. Now, this covered that infamous new logo that nobody likes, the new bland look of all the restaurants that nobody likes. And as soon as Cracker Barrel starts talking about all these changes and they're revealing the look of their restaurants, they're revealing the looks of their logos, almost immediately, customers hated it. Social media started lighting up with complete backlash. Everyone is talking about their opinion. Everyone just said it just didn't feel like Cracker Barrel anymore, and that the brand had completely lost its soul. And I think this is something that we're seeing across the board in a lot of different companies. I actually talked about how brands lose their soul and how you can prevent that in your business in this video, so make sure that you take a look at that as well. But what made things worse was the response from leadership. And this is where things, especially for Cracker Barrel, really escalated. See, I think for the most part, people will give you grace when you make a mistake like this, when you just miss it, when you just get it wrong. But when it goes off the rails and when it goes into emergency mode is your response, because the response that you have is so critical. And if you don't respond well to the people that you serve, it doesn't go very well, and suddenly everybody is talking about it. See, in the midst of this backlash, the CEO of Cracker Barrel went on Good Morning America, and this is what she said.
What if all the customers are coming at you hard enough about the look of the restaurant and they want to go back to the old way? Would you do it?
Honestly, the feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like what we're doing. The feedback and the buzz is so good, not only from our customers, but from our team members.
So she sat on national TV talking about their customers and said, really, in other words, our customers don't really know what they're talking about. This is just a few people out there on social media. They're complaining. Everything's fine. Don't look over here. Look over there. Everything is good. Now, meanwhile, the company lost $100 million in stock value. Now, just days later, $100 million of value down the drain. See, customers weren't a vocal minority, they were the majority. Now, you may be like some out there, and I've seen you in the comments and in all the places saying, who cares? Why is this such a big deal? It's just a logo, it's just a restaurant. Well, let me break it down for you at the heart and soul of it. I think the backlash that Cracker Barrel is receiving actually proves how successful they were in their original mission. When Cracker Barrel set out as a company, they had a mission. Here's what Cracker Barrel originally said about their brand and what they wanted to create. They said that the man and barrel in the old logo represented the old country store experience where folks would gather around and share stories. They said our logo reflects our roots and the warm, welcoming atmosphere we've always aimed to create. See, Cracker Barrel, they wanted people to feel something. They wanted their brand to be more than just food. They wanted it to feel old and nostalgic on purpose. The very thing that they are now working to erase so that they can bring it for a Cracker Barrel for today. Cracker Barrel was never designed to feel like today. The original mission was to feel old and nostalgic on purpose. They wanted travelers to take a moment to sit, relax on that front porch in those rocking chairs. They're not just there only to sell them. They're there for the experience. They really wanted people to transport back in time to a simpler moment in the old country store. They were celebrating Southern hospitality. Apparently, they had created something that people deeply loved. And from my perspective, they should be celebrating that. They wanted people to feel something, and they were able to achieve it. And I don't know how many food brands can say the same thing about what Cracker Barrel has produced. But back to President Trump. He offered some amazing advice, some insight that I think we can all learn from. I mean, after all, he was a pretty celebrated businessman before being president. So this was his advice to Cracker Barrel. Hey, just admit the mistake. Admit you messed up. Listen to your customers because your customers are always the greatest poll. And if you do things right, you can turn this negative into a positive. And I'm not saying that Trump tipped the scales, but later that day, Cracker Barrel announced they were going back to the old logo. So let's make this personal. Cracker Barrel poured $700 million into a decision that did not reflect the people who actually walked through their doors. They're trying to serve people who are not their customers. See, it wasn't just a bad logo, it was a failure to understand the brand's identity and its relationship with its customers. And that's the big mistake. That right there is why everyone is so over the top about this situation. So as a leader, is it possible that you're working hard, you're investing both time and money into something that is totally disconnected from the people that you serve? And if that's the case, or if it's possible, let's see what Cracker Barrel or your brand can do to recover. So I want to give you 3 small steps to take in a situation like this. Number 1, humble yourself publicly. Public humility. And don't just do it to do it, be sincere. Look, don't insult the people who matter the most. And if you're unsure of who the people are that matter the most, it's your customers. Don't tell the people who give you the ability, by the way, to be a business that they're wrong. When they speak, listen to them and then admit publicly, we got this wrong. We missed it. You told us, we heard you, and we are fixing it. See, that type of humility, that right there, that approach, that posture, that builds trust. Few people today will accept and admit the blame. Most people want to pass it to someone else. See, your customers don't expect perfection. That's great news, but they do expect honesty. And humility is powerful because it humanizes. It provides a deeper connection with the people that you serve. It proves that you aren't just a cold corporate machine, but there are real people that are behind the brand. So be humble and admit the mistake. And then number 2, turn the negative into a positive. Easier said than done, right? But turn the negative into a positive. See, Trump was spot on with this observation. He said Cracker Barrel has gotten $1 billion worth of free publicity. So use it. There's a reason that the saying, there's no such thing as bad publicity, there's a reason that exists, because it is true. And it seems that Cracker Barrel is actually taking this advice from the president. They made a statement saying this: we thank our guests for sharing your voices and love for Cracker Barrel. We said we would listen, and we have. Our new logo is going away, and our old timer will remain. Now, that's great news, but I'm just being honest and giving you my opinion here. I think from their perspective, I think it's just a cold corporate comment. I think they have been financially forced to do this. I don't think this is sincere, and I don't think that the new leadership of Cracker Barrel, I don't think this is who they really want to be. Now, time will tell, but if it were me leading this right now, my entire brand would communicate the words that were spoken. And this is what I think makes the difference. See, if you will remember the old country store, what did they say? It was designed to be a place where people would gather around and share stories. The whole vibe of Cracker Barrel was built around community. It was built around rest, around being neighbors, and making connections. And all of this happened around comfort food and Southern hospitality. So I think they need to double down on all of that. I think they should run campaigns of real people sharing some real stories and some real memories that were made at a Cracker Barrel, doing all the things that Cracker Barrel said it was designed for. So don't just say you're committed to that original mission. You've got to show it. You have to make customers feel like their voice matters. Cracker Barrel should communicate this as appreciation to its customers for keeping them on mission and on brand. Say, hey, we missed it. Here's what we're going to do. And we want to thank you for keeping us accountable to our original mission and why we even set out to have this Southern food around all the stuff in the old country store. It is a great opportunity to make a difference and turn a negative into a positive. And then number 3, I would say they need to reconnect with their core. Reconnect with your core. Now, I recognize what I'm about to say here is probably oversimplifying, but I feel like, for whatever reason, I'm the only one who sees this. But there isn't a business on the planet that exists without people. I mean, I know that's simple, but I feel like I'm the only one seeing this because I'm always amazed when brands like Cracker Barrel overlook the obvious. People. See, business isn't really about the product or the profit. We think it is, but it's not. It's about the people. See, people make the product. People sell the product. People buy the product. People produce the profit. Without the people, none of that is possible. So at the heart of it all, don't overlook the people, especially your core customer. Now, this is going to look different for every organization and for every business and for every leader, but it's critical for you to reconnect with your core. The truth is, every brand is going to mess up eventually. No one gets it right all of the time. But what separates the companies that recover from the ones that collapse is whether they're willing to own the mistake, honor their customers, and use the moment as a platform for progress. And Cracker Barrel, right now, this is your shot. You have a chance to do just that. And you do too. So here's my question. What steps today do you need to take in your organization or in your leadership? What are you or your business navigating right now that needs these things instituted in your leadership? I would love to know about it. So let's talk about it in the comments below. And hey, if this brought value, will you like this video so that YouTube knows it? Share it so that your friends will know, and subscribe so you don't miss any future content. And maybe I'll see you on a Cracker Barrel porch, but if not, I'll see you in the comments or I'll catch you on the next one.